The countdown has begun and the clock is ticking as we are only a few days away from a brand new season going live here in Fortnite Battle Royale. Season 10 is less than a week away from launching, and with it we are going to see a ton of new changes and surprises introduced into the world of Fortnite. We've seen some pretty massive changes happen in the past with our seasonal launch updates. For instance, we've seen new biomes added in, like the desert, iceberg, and jungle biomes, and we've even seen some pretty significant gameplay changes as well, in the form of various weapons getting vaulted and new weapons and items being introduced. So with all of that said, we already know that Season 10 is going to be an absolutely massive season in general, being that it is the 10th season of Battle Royale here in Fortnite. So we can safely say Epic Games is no doubt going to bring the heat when it comes to the launch of Season 10. And more than likely we're going to see more changes than ever before added into the game, ranging from standard updates that come with each season to even more surprises than what we have seen in the past. So today we're diving back into the world of Fortnite Battle Royale and taking a look at a handful of new changes that'll be coming to the game with the launch of Season 10, and also all season long as we immerse ourselves in yet another massive seasonal update. So first and foremost, easily the biggest changes that everyone is heavily anticipating for the launch of Season 10 is going to be the brand new map changes. With each of our seasons in the past, we have seen some pretty significant updates happen to the map, some of which went over very well, and some of which not everyone was all too pleased about. But regardless of how you felt about any given map updates in specific, we know that some major changes are coming to the Fortnite Island when Season 10 goes live. And quite honestly, with this season being so big, it's also very possible that we get some map changes that don't even include the standard islands anymore. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a brand new map coming to Fortnite Battle Royale with the launch of Season 10. And frankly, I really feel like there's only so much more this current island can take. We have seen just about everything there is to see unfold on the Fortnite Island up until this point. It has been struck by a meteor, it's been damaged by a rocket, it's been changed by the cube, it's been at the receiving end of a blizzard and also a volcanic eruption, and it also just had two massive giants fight it out on the island as well. So really, where are we going from here? How much more can the Fortnite Island actually endure, and how much more can it actually change? Well, quite a few people are thinking it's not going to be changing anymore, and that it's simply going to be retired with the launch of Season 10. But frankly, at least as of right now, we can't be too sure that that is exactly what is going to happen without a few more solidified facts and/or hints coming directly from the Fortnite team and also Epic Games. However, as far as changes go that could happen on the current islands, we have quite a bit to talk about here. Now, to be honest, I thought the aftermath of the final showdown event was going to be a little bit more drastic, if I'm being frank. We saw the monster blast trees and buildings into oblivion, and we saw other homes, buildings, and areas get damaged during the event as the monster and the robots stepped on them, fell on them, or just caused some damage to them in some other way, shape, or form. However, quite a few of the areas that were actually damaged during the event kind of just regenerated after the event ended, which seems odd, but I do understand why it happens like that. With all of those places effectively being removed from the game because they were destroyed, it could really alter how exactly the game is played, especially during things like the Fortnite World Cup. But with all of that said, one area that was not reverted after the event finished up was Loot Lake. And now once again, somehow, some way, Loot Lake, an area that frankly really isn't all that exciting, is now the epicenter of yet another major seasonal transition. Prior to Season 5 and Season 6, Loot Lake was a relatively underutilized point of interest. Sure, it had some loot, but the whole lake part of it that, caused you to move slow through the water and also that created a massive barrier unless you decided to go right through it, really was not all that much of a hot POI. But come Season 5, when the cube took a dip in the lake, all of that changed. Of course, come the launch of Season 6, the cube rose from its watery grave and created the floating cube islands, and from that point on, Loot Lake was a hot spot all season long as the island drifted back and forth all across the map, ultimately returning to the center of Loot Lake, or Leaky Lake as it was known at the time, to combust, causing the butterfly event. Then for Season 7, things kinda died down and Loot Lake returned to being a pretty uneventful and boring spot on the map. But then again, in Season 8, things heated up once again as the government built the hatch at the lake prior to the start of the unvaulting event, where of course the hatch then opened up, exposing the Nexus, which caused us to be transported to an alternative dimension, where we ended up voting for the drum gun to return to the game. Then of course here in Season 9, Loot Lake was transformed to be a source of power for Neo Tilted and also the Slipstream, and all season long things have been happening in or around Loot Lake as well. And then most recently, during the actual final showdown event, both the monster and the mecha robot tried to harness the power of the Nexus by breaking open the hatch in Loot Lake. And obviously only one of those succeeded, that of course being the mecha robot. And now in the aftermath of the event, we have the Nexus orb currently floating on the map just above the hatch, and this orb undoubtedly will play a massive role in the launch of Season 10. Perhaps the orb is going to explode, causing massive damage to Loot Lake and the area around it, or perhaps the orb will be the source of some other mysterious change on the island. Really, for this, only time will tell. Also, one other area on the map in specific that I'm really keeping my eye out for is that northwestern corner with Junk Junction and Haunted Hills, simply because that is the last corner of the map that really hasn't been touched in quite some time. Moving on though, another major change coming with Season 10 here in Fortnite Battle Royale is going to be that of a brand new plotline for the overall storyline. Each new season has brought forth new heroes and villains, new protagonists, and also new antagonists, and I expect Season 10 to be no exception as we get yet another new plotline to follow all season long. Most likely, this new storyline will be debuted in the reveal trailer for the season, and we'll get a glimpse of where exactly we'll be headed for the next 11 weeks or so. And then, all season long, most likely on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis, we'll see new updates come in the form of loading screens and even map changes that tell us what exactly is happening with the storyline this time around. And of course, all of that will ultimately lead up to another new one-time event that'll take place near the end of the season, like what we have seen for the past few seasons as well. And another major tie-in with the storyline and also a new change coming with Season 10 is going to be that of a new secret skin that'll actually be the driving force behind the entire plotline all season long. This secret skin is essentially the main character, if you will, and all season long, everything we do, all the challenges we complete, and all the changes we see occur will lead up to the reveal of this secret skin, who will essentially lead us into the final event and ultimately into Season 11. Then finally, our last set of major changes that we'll be talking about here today all have to do with the gameplay itself, as some new gameplay adjustments and tunes will no doubt be another major part of the Season 10 updates. As of right now, there has been some pretty hot conversations going on regarding the current shotgun meta, as the combat shotgun is still an absolute laser beam, and as you guys probably saw all weekend long during the Fortnite World Cup Finals, almost every single player was using the combat shotgun if they had the opportunity to do so, because it does beam at pretty much any distance that is reasonably close. So perhaps we'll see the combat shotgun nerfed in some way, or maybe the other shotguns will be buffed to combat the combat shotgun. We then also have to consider things like the baller, which has been criticized for having too much of an impact on the gameplay right now as well, due to its ability to maneuver you around the map so easily. So maybe we'll see another vehicle added in to combat that, or perhaps the baller will also be nerfed in some way, shape, or form too. Anyways, those are effectively some of the major changes that we'll see happen in Season 10 of Fortnite Battle Royale, and with that being said, that is going to wrap things up for today. Definitely drop us a comment down below, letting us know which locations on the map you guys think are going to change the most, or if you think a brand new map will actually be coming to the game with Season 10's updates. Personally, if the current island does stay as the main map, I would say I'm really hoping that that upper northwest corner gets updated, as Junk Junction and Haunted Hills are pretty out of date at this point and haven't really been touched in quite some time. Of course, if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to drop a like rating on it, give it a big old thumbs up, as it would be much appreciated. And of course, if you are brand new here to the Simply Fortnite channel, feel free to subscribe with your post notifications turned on, that way you'll never miss another upload. As always, by joining the notification squad, every single time we post a new video, YouTube will actually send you a message. That way you can be the first person to watch, like, and comment on each and every new upload. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you guys on the battle bus. Peace out.